Hello, my name is Russell Myers. Welcome to Issues Unite. Now, this is a subject that I've done a couple of videos on in the past, but I do feel that it belongs in this series because it is an important one. But before I get to the subject itself, let's talk about ethics. There are many people that would be more than happy to kill a billionaire or a millionaire to take all of their money, or even a portion of their money, $1 million, $100,000. There are lots of people that would kill for that amount of money. Now, let's compare this to millionaires and billionaires who are more than willing to passively or actively create conditions which kill millions of human beings every single year. Poverty kills. Homelessness, hunger, malnutrition, lack of medical care because a person cannot afford medical care. Bombing other countries to steal their resources. These all kill millions of people a year. Refugee crises created for capitalist entities. The opioid crisis. All these things kill. Incarceration kills. I'm a corrections nurse. I've watched people that have died, that were in jail for nonviolent drug offenses, and yet they wound up stabbed, overdosing on synthetic drugs, etc. So yes, incarceration kills, and it destroys lives, no matter what. So compare this honestly. Let's compare this honestly. The person that is willing to murder directly, face to face, to take someone's money, a large sum of money, they're literally more honest than the millionaire or billionaire that tries to use, plausible deniability for their role in destroying lives and murdering people. Who is worse? The person that kills one person or the person responsible for millions of deaths? Anyway, so this concept that I'm including here has to do with limiting the motivation for millionaires and billionaires to have the opportunity to even do this. The idea is imposing a maximum income, not wage income. I mean from all sources. Now, some are going to call this a radical idea. I consider the very existence of billionaires to be radical. Billionaires should not even exist, period. Nobody needs that much money. Nobody needs as much money as Jeff Bezos has. Just using him as an example, because he's the most obvious example. But, this maximum income could be quite reasonable and generous. $50 million a year. If you need more than $50 million a year to live on, you don't need more money. You need therapy, and you can damn well afford it. Okay, so, anything above that cap would be taxed under this idea at 100%. there's a very good chance that if we imposed such a limit, anyone below that cap would probably not have to pay taxes at all. I mean, none. Okay, so you're a multimillionaire. You make $50 million a year, and then you have a slow year and you make $45 million. You wind up, you don't pay any taxes on it. That's the idea. You know, 50 million and one, your $1 gets taken. How is this a radical idea? But this would have to include capital gains and what the death tax and what have you. Estate tax. So, yeah, it would still be subject to the same amount. If you make $40 million a year and you inherit $20 million, all right, well, $10 million of that gets taken to keep you in the $50 million range. Oh, boo-hoo. You only got $10 million out of a $20 million estate. In addition, we tax corporations at a flat percentage of profit after expenses. However, those expenses should not be allowed to include, CEO bonuses or stock dividends, period. If you pay out stock dividends, then you pay it out after taxes. The advertising. Limit advertising for major corporations to the same amount that, say, a medium-sized business could afford to spend on advertising as a deduction. Anything above, I don't know, $100,000 a year? Nope, comes out of your pocket, comes out of your profit margin after taxes. You want to spend $50 million a year on advertising? Go ahead and do it, but it's coming out of your pocket. All right, but wages for actual employees would be before taxes. This would discourage them from, taking after-tax profit, and cutting wages. All of this would encourage spending on capital expenditures, creating wages, increasing wages. It would increase the number of jobs in the economy, and that would lead to more jobs available, increasing wages. When you have more jobs available, then you have workers to fill them. Well, you're going to increase wages because you're competing for workers. Now, of course, we can count on the fact that this would also lead to corporations and the rich people completely changing their tune and wanting to open up the borders to immigrants. But, make a path to citizenship for those immigrants so that they have to be paid higher wages as well. All right, so all of this is highly reasonable. And it would stop all the conflicts. Oh, they're stealing our jobs. There's more if there are more jobs than people to fill them, then nobody's going to be complaining that someone is stealing their job. That's it. This would boost our economy. It would if you actually use this, and I'm not even saying, this isn't even talking about a wealth tax. This isn't saying take anything that somebody has. This means limiting everything that they earn from this point forward. Okay, so last year you made, $200 million. Okay, well, you've already made that. It's not retroactive. It doesn't go backward. But then next year you make $50 million. Fine. Everything above that 50, or next year you make 200 million, but there's a cap of 50, then everything from 50 onto that 200 gets taxed at 100%. You have to pay 150 million in taxes. It would simplify the tax code. It would make all taxes for people below that cap simpler, even if it didn't eliminate the tax for people in lower income brackets. It would severely reduce the amount of taxes that people below that cap have to pay in. But chances are that if we use this, we could fund universal health care, universal adult education, improve funding for primary education. We wouldn't be engaging in wars to steal resources from other countries, because there wouldn't be anybody at a personal level that was benefiting from it. It would end all of this. Why can't we do this? This is very realistic. It's an idea that needs to take off. It needs to be discussed widely in the public sphere. This needs to be a national conversation. If you don't make $50 million a year, and if you are watching this video or even engaged in this conversation, you've got no dog in the fight. If you are not up there in the top 0.1%, why are you supporting them? Because you're hurting yourself. You're paying more taxes because they're not. This is realistic. This is something you should be behind. Even libertarians should be behind this. All right? This is pretty dang simple. So, share this video. Talk about these subjects. Talk about them. Talk about them. Talk about them. If you can, please donate $1 a month to help expand the channel. And thank you for watching. Hope you have a good evening.